All of a sudden.
Hello, and welcome into the LCS Challengers League. I am Magical, and today I am joined in by Mazel and Cubby, and we are ready for more action here in Week 5. Can you guys already believe that it's Week 5? Like, we're that close to the end. We have 5 more best of twos for each one of our teams remaining before playoffs. That is such a fast season, and it makes me kind of sad to think about.
Don't think about it then. That's a problem for future broadcasts, as
okay,
you know.
Okay, so I'm gonna pluck that out of my brain. We're gonna put that on the shelf up here, and we're just gonna ignore it for a while.
Shelves and bricks. That's pretty impressive.
Don't question me. Anyways, it's good having both of you here. I'm excited for the games that we have in store. There's a lot of awesome gameplay that we have. But Cubby, let's hear from you a little bit. How you feeling about the season so far?
I mean, it's hard to think about the season given how fast it's going, and I'm putting all my time into League of Legends, right? I going to bed at like 4 a.m. because I've been watching more LCK and LPL. There's been
you're on the Mazel hours, I see.
I am a little bit. I'm not working Mazel hours, but I'm a little bit on Mazel hours. It's been really fun actually seeing League being played globally. Of course, LEC going on today. We'll have that raid later on this stream, but. Excited to see some of the matches that we have, especially in the back half of the day, as TLC versus Disguise and FlyC versus Wildcard, who I think are the 2 hottest teams we have right now. Be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you were talking about other leagues, other action. There is something else that is running tangentially to the NACL, and that is the open qualifiers.
Yes.
In fact, we have our finals for the first one today that are going on between Team Ambition and Winthrop University, but if you feel like you can beat those teams, if you want to show that you're going to be the next up-and-coming team, why don't you apply? There's going to be another round of open qualifiers, and whoever wins that one is automatically qualified for the promotion tournament that's going to take place at the end of all of playoffs for our bottom 2 teams of the LCS Challengers and then the top 2 teams of the open qualifiers.
If you were here at the stream earlier, you would have seen that Team Ambition is currently up 2-1 over Winthrop.
Yeah.
It's been 3 pretty competitive games so far, so I know those games are continuing on Rally Cry's channel, but excited to dive into the action that we have here today.
Yeah, and also, if you don't know, Team Ambition had quite the upset just the other day against Mirage Alliance. So it is a fun open qualifiers that is going on. And speaking of fun, we had a very fun time. We have a 2v2 that we want to show you between Team Liquid and between Wildcard. So let's go take a watch.
We can't lose kill. There are no ARAM items. Completely lied to.
ARAM items.
Wait, are they actually playing for tower?
Yes, look at their champs, bro. They're just double demolished.
Like, all I'm saying, guys, is that's a good guess on what we're doing. So
Wait, you guys are playing on the bounce?
It's okay. They were in their freeze.
We lost. We completely lost. I'm the worst Rengar in the world. We have completely lost.
Oh, it's not looking
Wait.
Oh, no. You know what to play for, Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, wait, let's actually go
Oh,
to
nice.
so Bradley can play his custom mode.
Wait, but I didn't even know this.
Let's just go.
We did
Like,
this.
I just completely gaslighted. I heard there are ARAM items.
I thought there's ARAM items, I thought I'd get 1,000,000 gold. None of us know how to play them.
Wait. Kill
daily summon?
that. Yeah. Kill.
Wait, good daily summon?
Kill that shit if it. Oh, whoa. What the?
Wait, Kill, can you put a bush on the tower?
Daisy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm killing Daisy.
I
Wait.
got some plays, that's fine. No, low-key.
Wait, Ian. Oh. Oh, yeah. Wait. No.
It's
So
completely over.
steady wins the race.
Wait, I actually have Barry on the wrong key.
Oh my.
Wait, yeah, that's why you lost, you're right.
Yeah.
What even?
Oh.
Freeze up. It's time.
Oh, he's hitting the freeze. I can't stop it.
That's real.
Dude, look at my item.
We are. It's over.
We have another freeze.
Oh, about that
Even if you
freeze.
perfect, yes, you can't hit.
Bye.
No. Oh, wait. Can we?
Yeah.
Wait, look at the ring.
Yes.
No. Cancel, please. Look at the ring.
Holy.
Yes.
Okay, good call. Just keep winning.
I know, I haven't. Yeah,
Oh, no. You ready?
I'm so dumb, Zimmerno. I'm so
Yeah,
dumb.
right here. Sit here. Just wait. Okay, kill this thing. Okay, go, 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 go.
Okay, well.
Hey, yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Was it just first to 2 kills?
Yes, it's,
Yeah.
it's completely rigged.
Okay. I'm running out of base with this, and I'm going this. Okay.
I think that's dog.
Wait, we actually win right now, by the way.
I'm Moon. Good luck.
Same. Hope you win these Uno.
Oh! Wait.
You want to
Gotta
risk
get
it
out.
all?
You have lethal
Yeah?
jump on,
You wanna
no?
risk it all, buddy?
No, you have lethal. Back his ass.
Get your ass back here, boy.
It's worth. It's very worth.
Hold that for me.
Oh. Hold gun, hold gun, hold gun. Oh, wait. Oh, God.
Wait, he's trash.
Oh, God.
He's trash. He's trash. He's trash. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
okay, okay, you live, you live.
They cannot win.
They cannot win. We'll just hit our 1-item spike and.
Can you walk up?
Yeah,
I'm doing
yeah.
this.
Also, no.
Yeah.
Get the out of there. We don't want to fight you. Ian, he's sick.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's fine,
good,
that's
good,
fine.
good.
I'm 2x mana. I'm 2x mana.
Good, good, good.
Yeah, we
Oh,
have
look
to
at
have this though.
If we lose with these items, I'm quitting the game.
Remember, we only need 1 kill, by the way. Okay.
Okay, get rid of the minions. Like,
Oh, true. This guy, no matter what this guy, just literally don't do anything. You ready? Alright.
we have level advantage as
Go, go,
well.
go, go.
We're 2 levels up.
Only ye.
Yeah?
What?
Oracle?
I trolled it.
I still have
Oh my god.
I'm permanent. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me.
This is literally unwinnable.
Okay.
This
Wait, did you not have your W on me?
Dude, you told me don't
Wait.
Sigmas. You are trolling me. Yo, I fear it's literally completely on. They can't win.
I know. They can.
Yeah. You guys literally lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can never win.
They
would
picked Caitlyn Tristana.
Yeah. Do they know?
Wait, really good there, Zumudo.
Yo, just build your confidence.
Oh, a double stun. Okay. Yeah, well played, guys.
Really good.
Uh-huh.
Wait, now spam Q, Q.
Wait, kill Sky.
Dude, I'm killing
Wait, kill me,
Rumble.
kill me.
You see?
Yo, why don't you kill me? What the hell?
Dude, they're doing damage, I think.
Oh my god, Bradley.
Wait, Zamunda just killed himself.
Go.
Surely you don't die as well.
Free.
Easy.
Yeah, thanks for the win.
I didn't that.
Wildcard 2 this weekend.
Absolutely.
I didn't that, but you did get hit by every single spell in the entire game, Bradley.
I just don't understand.
I should control your keyboard, Bradley, and make you not get hit by those
If we
spells.
look at the damage, you did all. So. Oh, wait, I can't say that. Wait.
I was trying to keep a straight face at the end there. Like, I knew it was coming, but my goodness, it doesn't ever get funnier. I love that we were able to get these two
Wait, it
guys
doesn't
in
get
front of each
funnier, or
other.
it always gets funnier?
You know,
Which
after
one?
that, it doesn't get funnier. As it was incredible to get to have Bradley and APA with Zamudo and Keel against each other. Again, all the trash talk that went in. It was literally like an hour and a half of just straight trash talk. We had to cut a lot of it because the games were just going on long. But I will give the caveat, we had some issues recording in game number 1. Wildcard actually won that 2v2 3-1. But they had to play the extra game there, so a little bit extra spice. And then I'm just saying things got a little out of hand in the weekend. So I don't know how that all works out, but maybe a little bit of interesting stuff. But first and foremost, gotta appreciate the players for being willing to talk and be in a 2v2 with me.
Yeah, I mean, I love that kind of content. I think that's always a great thing to see. Like, you get more of the players' personalities. And maybe that's what happened with TLC. They lost in 2v2.
Don't do this to me. Now they're never going to do content with me again.
Yeah, now they're struggling. It's all your fault, Lennon. It's all on you.
You would have thought they might have learned to ban Rumble from that, but unfortunately, you know.
No. Do you think APA and Bradley are looking back like, man, that game 4 2v2, that was our foreshadowing?
All right, now the reason why we were making these jokes, because when we look at the standings, it was a 5-game lead TLC had going into week 4. And now it is a 2-game lead against 3 different teams, all tied for second place. Disguised, FlyQuest Challengers, and Wildcard, hot on the heels of TLC.
Love that you start there, Mad Magical, because that is where our stream ends today, as the second match is TLC versus Disguised. Last match of the day, FlyQuest versus Wildcard, who I think are the two hottest teams we have in Challengers right now. And overall, standings, I mean, the top is close, but also the bottom. Keep in mind, we only take the top 8 teams to playoffs. So that race to make the top 8, rather close between our bottom 5 teams, as well as everyone's within 2 games of each other. And I know that series kick off today between Team Fish Taco and EGC matters a lot, too, for that race.
It does indeed. I just want to say one little caveat. TLC, I made a graphic for them yesterday, 2 wins ahead. They're still there, all right? We'll see if that continues to be the case at the end of the day.
I don't know. I feel like anytime you're making any content now for TLC, it's cursed. That you're just cursing them. That you're the bad juju for them.
Can I put on the jersey I have in my closet that you got me?
you're gonna make it worse, because I mean, let's just take a listen, because we heard some of the Cincinnati Fears comms from yesterday when they faced off against TLC and had the most miraculous base defense I've ever seen in my life.
It's not bad too. Oh wait, that guy's one. We're up in 15. Just try to make time.
Yeah, I'm gonna make time right here. Try to flash into the wave and grab it, maybe? Nice.
Yeah, they're trying to tank it.
I mean, maybe they can.
We're up in 5.
The other one will take a while.
Try to go with them, I think.
Just try to hit them.
Okay, you're doing well, you're doing well.
Nice.
You're doing really good. You're doing really good.
Let's go Baron, guys. Let's go Baron after.
NEC shot, you go. Stop the gate. Nice.
Yeah, let's go Baron. Let's
I'm
go
going more, I'm going more.
I'm going more too.
It's just Kenan LeBlanc.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the voice that's like highest pitch is Philip, and Philip is just the ultimate dopamine gamer, man. He was the guy first off, screeching Penta. So, you know, from those fear comms, I feel like it's been a little bit improved, where it's like, hey, you're doing really good. Like, you know, that's what we like to see.
That's really good.
Both the boys.
Hey, really good, just okay base defense that literally wins the game for Fear, where it looked like they're gonna lose that one. I think honestly is a crazy outcome, a crazy set of circumstances. And what it
was like 15 minutes of more game played after that, where TLC was trying to backdoor because they couldn't 5v5. That was a rather interesting one to watch. As we had a lot of weird games actually yesterday. It was pretty fun going through those games on the VOD.
Wild day yesterday, but we have a wild day today because, as you alluded to, Cubby, we have some very important games that are really going to define the brackets and the standings that we have going into this one. Starting at the bottom with Team Fish Taco up against Evil Geniuses Challengers. Team Fish Taco, if they win that 2-0, they tie back up with Evil Geniuses Challengers and could get themselves out of that bottom 2 that you're alluding to.
Everyone matters, as if you are in bottom 2, not only do you miss playoffs, but also you end up in that promotion relegation tournament where you have to fight to earn your spot back in Challengers for 2024. So I think all of our teams really very competitive right now, whether it is TLC being 2 games ahead at the top or just 2 games separating 5 teams at the bottom. It's a rather tightly packed standings that we have, and excited to see how the teams hash things out here over the last few weeks.
It's funny, I realized that top 4 is separated by 2, bottom 5 separated by 2. Only Cincinnati Fear. Only Cincinnati Fear, like the one outlier there, but that's on the other stream, so they can deal with that one. We got to deal with...
let them have that one.
Yeah, they get the outlier. We get the ones that are important as we start off with Team Fish Taco against Evil Geniuses Challengers. We also got to look at these teams and what they have ahead of themselves, right? What they have still left to play in the season, because when you look at who they all have to play, you could argue, technically, Taco have a bit of an easier schedule, but that still has Team Liquid Challengers and FlyQuest Challengers mixed in there. The only difference is that Evil Genius Challengers has both the Wildcard and Disguise on top of that.
I was going to say, it ain't easy for either side. You're seeing this, but with how contested the end of the split is, again, you were highlighting earlier, every win matters. Top 8 makes it, and especially for these 2 teams, they need to push ahead with these last 5, and I think we do have some strengths being developed in a short amount of time over these last couple weeks, but it's got to show out.
It has to show up, and speaking of showing up, we have been seeing that Evil Geniuses Challengers has been turning things around. New top laner with Zerty, had some growing pains in those first 2 series, but after that, 2-0 to end of last week, 2-0 to start off this week. That is a much better look for them, even though, granted, only 2 series, Still got a lot more left of League of Legends and the season still left to play, Mizel.
I just want to give a special shout out to the look back at Surdy when he was sitting over on Team Liquid first. He's got the Team Liquid logo, but he is over on Evil Geniuses now, and it is a big transition, right? When you get to talk to Surdy, when you get to talk to Surdy, a lot of times it is a lot of the factor that he has been continuing to grind behind the scenes. He has been a sub for Team Liquid for the last little bit, and it is something where he is feeling a lot more confident in the matchups and with this team as time goes on.
From talking with Spawn even mid-season, he was like, hey, there's a chance that Surdy plays just because Surdy was really keeping up his form. So it has been great to see him step into EG and really do his best, as that identity of the team has really changed, actually play through Surdy on the top side. Lunazi is going to have his handfuls today.
Yeah, and going up against Team Fish Taco, this team, they might be at the bottom, but they have definitely been scrappy. They have been a team that has defied all odds going into the season. Sitting 9 and 17 at the moment, which isn't the best showing. But the fact that they even have 9 wins when we look at last split and how our bottom team, our bottom 3 teams had no more than 5 wins total.
I mean, we don't talk about some of those teams that got relegated. We like to focus on
Mazel just talked about it. Mazel just talked about it. He mentioned Team Liquid first. I had to bring it up.
Well, I'm gonna make sure it's 2 out of 3 and not 3 out of 3. But yeah, we have seen some decent looks out of Team Fish Taco, and for me, someone that I've actually been rather excited about when it comes to growth has actually been NXI, who I think struggled the first couple weeks, but once patch 13-12 hit, and once he was able to really play more engagers, we've seen some really nice moments out of NXI. As at the moment, from the last time they met, we're going to see Ryoma flashing into his team to make sure that everyone gets knocked up, play together. Good to have there for the side of EG. But I think NXI's rel has been absolutely fantastic. One of the better ones that we actually have in all of Challengers. And seeing him really take engages in these fights has been good to see from NXI, who, of course, is in his first split of a role swap. I think his laning still needs work. But his team fight moments, he's really delivered some good ones for Team Fish Taco.
He has. I think the transition has been really interesting for a guy that stole the spotlight when he was making waves as a jungler, and that we get to spotlight him a couple times now, where I feel like a lot of times we hadn't gotten to. It is awesome to see this kind of growth in terms of that decision making that was always so powerful from him in the jungle role.
I love that replay right there. The bigger blast cone. Get him that extra range, then to get the jump on into the back line. Honestly, so impressive from this role swap jungle to support. But he is going up against someone in the supportive role who has a lot of experience. When we are talking about Smoothie and looking at how Smoothie has been, I honestly got to say, I think this has been one of Smoothie's best splits we've seen out of him in quite some time here, Mizel.
I know we're probably not going to have it because it was from the very beginning of the split, but there has been some mechanical plays that Smoothie has made that has been insane. I know he had a dredge line lollipop like behind a tower in week 1, but here especially,
I didn't get that one because
I mean, that was a long time ago, right? I don't expect it, but it's showing a little bit of the mechanical skill this guy has, but it's also the fact that he's the glue, right? Like he talks about it all the time. He's trying to be a leader for the team, but he's also trying to make sure everybody's on the same page and everybody's working together.
Yeah, I got that one for you, Lennon. The mechanics right there. The Alistar minion, the flash to get to the back line.
It's so good.
I wanted to get you something. I knew you'd want to have something like that. I didn't get the earlier split for that exact reason. I want to show more
I'd rather see the later
things.
stuff. I think you did perfect.
Exactly. That's why I did it. I did it for you, Mazel. I made sure that this was all for your liking.
So sweet, Magic.
I try. All right, Cubby wants to talk. I can tell. What do you want to say?
No, I mean, I was going to say, I think Smoothie's been really sound in the engagers as well. I think the patch change was really good for Smoothie. His Blitzcrank's earning bans, and rightfully so. And him and King have been a real strong point for EGC in the spot side. And I think it's allowed for Shaden to play more towards 30 in the top side, where he really has that consistently strong landing phase, and EG can capitalize on that when Shaden's able to visit up top. So overall, I think EGC, our identity's changed a little bit since that top lane role swap, but I think given how strong King and Smoothie have been in the 2v2, it enables them to go support Surdy as well, which has been really good for this team.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if they can do that here up against Team Fish Taco, a very scrappy team on the other side, as well as having the solo kill king himself in the top lane, Lunasia. But you two, get us into game number 1 of our first series here in week 5, day 2.
We're going! We're running! We're going to the game! Okay, we made it. It was a very short run. Thank you, Magical. We'll see you afterwards for the Rally Cry halftime show. But we do have Team Fish Taco on the blue side with Evil Geniuses Challengers on the red side. I think some particular bans to come forward for these jungle matchups. I feel like jungle is going to take a lot of priority here when you're looking at Rosethorn versus Shaden, especially Rosethorn on Team Fish Taco, who's had such a aggressive stance for this team and consistently looks for a lot of skirmishing and unique pathing. Shaden, always that fighter. We do see the Maokai and the Xayah ban, as well as that Jackson Nico for EGC.
And I would love to see maybe Kindred taken off the board from Rosethorn, as I think Rosethorn in particular has been really sound on the Kindred. Has a 3-2 record for a team that only has 9 wins on the board, but no, actually going to be the Tristana taken away, so that Kindred is available. Will get locked in by Team Fish Taco. I'm expecting for EG to get Ryoma in early Azir, as that would give you a lot of control over the Lamb's Respite. It's something that Ryoma and EG have shown they're comfortable blind picking. However, are some options, as that Jace yesterday was really good for Ryoma and EGC. As I think Ryoma had his best series that we've seen from him yet yesterday, and a lot of that was on those 2 Jace games where he really took it to Supernova.
And that feels good, man. I feel like it has been a bit of an up and down season so far for Ryoma. It's really nice from a guy that we know has been able to step up to the plate in so many times past, to see him actually represent with this team where it needs to lean on the strength of their solo laners to make sure that King and Smoothie are really set up for success. It was the Poppy first lock-in for Evil Geniuses. They're hovering the Azir now, but specifically love the Poppy into the Kindred because you can have a lot of that skirmishing potential back and forth, but also you always got that Keeper's Verdict, baby.
I'm always a fan of Poppy. We saw good Poppy play yesterday from Perry over in Cincinnati Fear, and Shaden, his Poppy low-key has always been, I think, really strong. As that 3rd pick now for EGC, I expect that to be an Aphelios, or I expect it to be a response to just a top laner if they want to blind that. But hey, we teased the Rel for NXI early on, and that will be the pickup here for the side of Team Fish Taco. Would it be surprised to see that paired with Aphelios right off the bat?
That's something you were highlighting beforehand as well, just the strength that NXI has been able to represent on Rel, but also just the strength that Rel has been able to have. You have so much lockdown available, and especially if you pair that up with some strong combos. Now the Ahri, an interesting one, I would say, but a very strong 2v2 now with the mid-jungle duo of Team Fish Taco.
So, you know, not special, as this was his best champion to really get his team in Supernova into the league back before he was competing in Challengers.
Do you remember that interview? It's probably one of the greatest interview clips where he's wearing the Supernova jersey. And he's just like, yeah, you know why you're here. But no, it actually has been really cool to see Onat show up. I know he was lauding his Victor play just the other week, but he has been a nice little crux for Taco to work through. I will say now, King getting the Jinx, though, there's a hyper-scaling potential right now for one of the best performing players in the season on Evil Geniuses Challenge.
A big backline here when you have Azir plus Jinx. Of course, this combo peels really well for one another, too. Curious now, as we do have Rel locked in for the side of Team Fish Taco. I'm wondering if they take away Milio, as Milio Jinx gives Jinx that bonus range, can be a little bit tough to deal with. But also, you do have some tools to attack that backline. I think that's a pairing that EGC might look for. Of course, we have been praising Smoothie for his engager play, but I expect to see them deny some supports here and make sure that they can at least get a little bit of a better matchup, as EG, to me, it looks like they're going to protect top lane, maybe save that 5-pick for support, just to make sure that that bot lane can be winning. So whenever you have Jinx, get gold on Jinx. We've seen that be rather successful strategy in League of Legends here, Mazel, if you're able to get that Jinx rolling.
She's also from Arcane, which helps as well. I'll just shout out, though, I will say, I think Taco's early draft here is a very directional draft, but it's also interesting because they're leaving so many things up for the second phase that are going to be important, but they know what works for them. It is when Rosethorn and Onat pair up with NXI, you have a very forward-facing composition that can go for big engages, get big catchouts, and I'm glad that they are able to get that locked down for themselves here, at least in game number 1.
Felios denied. That's been a really good pick for Spawn, as Spawn, I feel like Felios has always been his best champion in his career. Alistar denied from Smoothie. Always like seeing that. As my thoughts go back to when Smoothie was competing with C9, even going to Worlds, I thought his Alistar was fantastic back then. We've seen some good moments from it this split, but it looks like my theory on taking top on 4 to get support counterpick was a little bit wrong. Hey, support showing for the side of Team Fish Taco. So EG says, hey, we'll take the Nautilus. Some point and click engage. Not going to hurt us here. As looks like Kaisa, some more over-the-top damage and also the ability to attack. Something that you have to be a little bit concerned about against Azir plus Poppy, as Spawn will have to be a little bit more careful about when he picks his spots. But I had something that Spawn's done really well this split. We knew Spawn for someone that, took those 80% team fights and played them out really well. But on this team where there aren't quite as many wins, Spawn's been looking good as a marksman in a role that's really difficult to look good on when you are on a losing team. And I think a lot of that's been that he's been picking his spots a lot better to go aggressive, sometimes even trading his life just to get down 2-for-1s. There's a ton of DPS. That's something new we've seen from Spawn this split. I feel like it's been a sign of growth for him as a player.
Yeah, again, we were coming to the split saying we really want this guy to be aggressive, to have that killer instinct. Yes, you can sit back and farm and be a hyper-scaling carry all you want, but the fact of the matter is you want to find those advantages and make those decisive moments, and we have seen that. Maybe not to the extent to turn around a very positive season for Team Fish Taco, but I think we have seen those strengths and moments, and they'll need to whip that out here as the Ornn does come through as the last pick. So some long distance engage, but also some scaling potential there. We get the Cassante locked in for Surdy.
I'd say brings a little bit more team fight tools and peel to play for this Azir Jinx, which I like, even if the Gwen's a really good matchup into the Ornn. So I think that's the thought process there for EG, as well as more displacement to play around that Lamb's Respite. So EG, big backline in the Azir plus Jinx. That would be a rather sound carry late in the game, but I want to see if Poppy can get those carries to the later game, because if you aren't able to make early plays, Kindred will ramp on you and can also invade your jungle and find a lot of skirmishes that should go the side of Kindred. Keep in mind, this Kindred, and this is a pick that Rosethorn is even used to take games off of teams like TL when they were on their hot streak. Rosethorn's Kindred has been very sound. This is now his most played of the split with his 6th play. So Kindred has always loved to invade. The kind of aggression Rosethorn can have is, I will say, I don't think a lot of his lanes have shove early. So I think Rosethorn is going to have to be really careful about where he picks his first spot and play.
Indeed, he will, as we're going to be getting to game 1 of the day very shortly here. I specifically am looking at Rosethorn and Onat's connection early on in this game. Can they get an advantage and use that mobility to get even further ahead? Or can EG deny them, get this hyperscaling king online, and have Ryoma a big factor here on the Azir? Make sure you're spamming in chat. Who do you think's going to take this dub? Is it Taco or EGC? Make sure get a little bit of love to the channel as well. Throw in those subs so you can get the emotes to spam when things happen in this series. As we are getting into it now, we do see a nice little line of scrimmage from EG, but I know when we were coming into this series, a big focus for us was Smoothie and NXI. Already we see Smoothie going the little bit of foray into the inevitable walk away from Taco.
I mean, it might have been a Manifold ban for Ryoma. That's a dub. I don't know.
And call it quits now. I mean, just walk away. It's fine.
Uh-oh.
Smoothie! Oh, no. Oh, wait, he got clipped on the edge of the back of the blue buff. Oh, that feels bad.
So the walk out.
Well, we moved past that. All right, we moved past that one. Speaking of moving past, though, Taco have blown EG out of the water in the fan vote right now. I love some representation there.
So you guys participating in the chat, supporting all of our challengers teams. Keep in mind that you guys can also drop a subscription. Some of those proceeds go directly to the teams you see competing. It's been a really fun change to the split in challengers, having the ability for our fans to directly support the teams and players. And man, you guys have come out in droves to do so. So always appreciate seeing that in the chat. But
he hit 700 on LCS_Challengers yesterday. Like, that is just so
That's massive.
Awesome.
Wow.
50% of the proceeds go to teams and players. I just think it's awesome. So shout out to you, the community members. But also shout out to the people we see on our screens right now. Wouldn't be here without them. And speaking of, the bot lane push is in full effect. As Taco had gotten that level 2 in bot lane, Kaisa and Rel will have priority down there.
Now, Rel lanes get shoved, as Rel can sit in that brush and can't really approach, or else you lose that trade. As Rel is just a huge ball of stats early on, but we do see Shaden clearing away from that, as it looks like each of our junglers is going to go for fuller clears here. Rosethorn has taken his entire top side as he works his way towards his bot side, and again, really interested to see where Shaden decides to get involved first. And hey, got to keep our eyes on that top lane, as has been really where we have seen EG attack with Surdy, and Surdy playing very aggressively as per usual, trying to push his lead. And it's a nice CS lead to start off against Lunacia.
Again, this guy, or Surdy, is a very confident man. And he does have a lot of confidence in himself, feeling like his laning phase is one of the best, if not the best, in NACL. And even though sometimes we've seen some faltering when trying to finish out win conditions, that has been a try of growth for him, is to get those advantages and find wins. While on the other side, Lunacia, he's wholesome as ever. He just loves the fans, and he's been having a really good time. They actually pulled back their series yesterday, and we got to talk to him for the first time. I think this matchup has a lot in store for it, because Surdy was Lunacia's mentor for a long time, right? He was the one that helped him a lot throughout his growth process.
Yeah, and honestly, like, these are two top laners whose teams got relegated that we're happy to see back in Challengers. As Lunacia, very early on in his career, it's only his second split playing competitively. Besides that, his only experience was with University of Oregon, who didn't really have that strong of a collegiate team. So to see him, competing again with Taco, and then see Surdy come back, someone that we always allotted for having that strong lane phase, and that hasn't changed in this early season, been really good. As especially for Surdy, 8 games, averaging over 450 gold at the differential at 15. And Shaden's going to flash on in here to Lunacia buffer.
Move, and the double buffer there. Lunacia actually makes it out alive.
Nice attempt there on the chain from EG, but Lunacia able to flash away. Going to feel okay as Shaden trades out his flash for Lunacia's. We'll give Surdy a bit more to play with, as Realma's lane is actually in a really tough state right now. Can't really approach that one as long as Rose Thorn is showing. With Realma playing back as cautiously as he is, Rose Thorn realizes that he's got the info. Take a step back. It's a good trade here for the King.
Flame Chomper's there on the other side, and XI will be able to dodge out of that, but taking a decent amount of damage on the way out. Heavy trades leading to the favor of Taco so far, even with the push going through. Did end up getting Ryoma crashing this wave. Onat's not going to go ahead and back just yet. Shaden will be on vision over on his, at least the blue side of the jungle, and I think that information is actually really big, because Rosethorn on this Kindred does need to get going.
I want to see if Team Fish Taco's bot lane can sneak in a reset to maybe prep this dragon, because at the moment, EG's bot lane is resetting first. This will preempt a response coming out from Team Fish Taco, as King will have an item advantage, and this is the window where after Raptors, if Shaden wraps back in here, they could look to take that early dragon for themselves. But I'm with you, Mizzou. I think that early game, if Rosethorn is able to get on this objective, could be really good for Team Fish Taco, as at the moment he is spotted. Reward placement coming out there from, I assume, Ryoma.
Good. They've had vision on both sides all game so far. I think just the vision control has been really interesting, but it's also led to such a stalemate that we've had, where both junglers are just kind of buying their time, trying to get these full clears off, figure out where the advantage is going to be. We do actually see Rosethorn starting up the dragon here. He's already about half health. Smoothie will spot him out.
Really like this from Smoothie playing interference. You can see Rosethorn took like 3 extra autos from the dragon there, as he's actually going to force them off because Shaden rotated over. So well played by Smoothie. And this is what I was talking about with the bot lane reset. It was a risky start there for Rosethorn. They did have Onat TP to mid first, so he thought he could start it on that wave. But the bot lane for EG, they reset first. So King was able to get to that wave. He's able to hit it, push it in, and now it's going to be EG's start for the dragon. It's going to be a seed from Team Fish Taco, as they don't want to deal with the Poppy yet. Oh, hold on.
They're coming to contest
maybe not a full seed.
Not Rain, but they want to take the fight. Shaden, he is left out in the dust at first blood for Team Fish Taco.
Trade coming out from Team Fish Taco. They're going to play to cut them off in the bot lane now, as Smoothie King will have to go the long way, and Rosethorn will be rewarded with a blue buff. Also want to shout out NXI there. Actually led with a Q flash and didn't use the crash down, as Poppy had that steadfast presence running. So NXI again showing some of those realm mechanics, realizing that, hey, I can't W on the Poppy, but I can Q flash on a Poppy.
Yeah,
and see that one more time from NXI.
This guy was one of our best junglers. He was always finding his own advantage. The mechanics are there, and I love to see them show out in the support role.
No, that was really well done by NXI and Onat to get that easy peasy setup. So good pick up here from Team Fish Taco. I think EG's okay dropping that first blood for the dragon. Not the worst thing in the world. And also, Ocean Dragon going to give them a lot of power in the laning phase. This is, I don't like to talk about individual dragons too much, but I think this is one of the few that is actually worth talking about, as that can make a little bit of a difference in some of our matchups here.
I will just say though, like out of all of that, Rosethorn has 3 marks now. Like
That's
just
true.
being
That's
able
nice.
to move around the map, also being able to pick out Shaden. Things are leaning in Rosethorn's favor now. Yes, you got to keep the tempo up as well. The Kindred is going to need to have a place to say in a lot of the fights, but that is already a strong start 8 minutes in.
It's not bad, but still all the neutrals are going to the side of EG as they have shoving lanes. Their lanes survived the first couple of waves. Jinx has range advantage bot. Same with Azir mid. If you don't have a jungler come mid, then War of Attrition goes over to the side of Azir, and we see Surdy got a little bit of a helping hand to get that flash out of Lunacia early, but he has been making good use of this counter pick that he had.
Oh, nice combo! The alley-oop! Scoop!
Get out.
I don't know if they actually do the crash down into the
Nice.
steadfast presence. Means EG will score one back.
Good to see Ryoma and Shaden linking up, as that is a very sound play with the Poppy. Azir with the scoop and score into that knockup from Shaden. Hands out, they get a plate in the bot side, even the King. And Rift Herald was picked up while all that was going on by Shaden, so EG, with this later game composition, still making good use on some of the prio as we get a replay.
The heroic charge into the Azir wall. Oh.
I mean, it's something you see a lot in LPL here, Mazel. They make good use of it there, too.
It hurts. Because there's just nothing you can do. Like, it's literally an alley-oop if we were playing basketball at Summoner's Rift. But we do have a nice little showing from Evil Geniuses again. We were highlighting the connection of Rosethorn, ONAT, and NXI on the other side. Yes, we saw that, but right now, it is the roaming from Smoothie that has really found a lot of promise early in this game.
He's going to continue to get out on the map. We'll see if NXI can match. I will say if Kai'Sa and Jinx are left on their lonesome in the bot lane, that is some potential for Spawn to get kills. As we do see Spawn going for that Kraken Slayer for the Kai'Sa. So will not be the AP Kai'Sa. Will be the AD variety. I think that's A-okay. Get through tanks pretty well. If you are able to continue to auto-attack in these fights, Zell. And also a lot of kill pressure onto the Jinx. As one Void Seeker connects, and that could easily be an all-in that goes in the favor of Kai'Sa.
I get a little bit spoiled in the LPL with Kai'Sas. We even had some intense ones last night, specifically Uzi in game number 3 of their series.
Yep.
And it is not only the namesake of her ultimate ability, the Killer Instinct, but you've got to have that if you're going to be making a difference on this pick. You've got to be able to make it in. And now, speaking of Killer Instinct, Rosethorn's got 4th mark there.
Fun for Rosethorn, as he will be an issue in this game. It's, good engage.
Okay, a little bit of lockdown. King will use that cleanse. You do have the depth charge used in return. NXI taking a lot of those rockets from Jinx from Arcane, but it is going to go the way of Taco here.
Team Fish Taco's fine with that trade. They got a couple nice summoner spells out of the side of EG and really only burned the Ghost for Spawn.
He's waiting, he knows.
Yeah, he's trying to stay out of vision. They're seeing if NXI re-engages again. That will be the sign for Shaden and then step up as show himself now.
Goes for it.
Yeah, the Team Fish Taco, they're not going to try and bluff the fact they don't see Shaden. They're like, hey, we're going to hightailing out of here. We do not want to deal with that.
Who's this jungler that always, is a hard carry in your games and, might want to focus on King and Smoothie? Oh, Shade? Oh, yeah, let's not play around that. Let's be a little safer. Although Shaden has been just trying to find things. I love this move onto the chickens, but he was also hovering over mid lane.
Well, they actually spot Rosethorn in transition to bot.
Vision in this game is insane. Neither jungler can walk anywhere.
Well done from Smoothie to set that up off one of the resets. So, Rosethorn, all the info spotted. Smoothie's rotating back over.
Shaden's got to use the Rift Herald here soon. I know the timer already shows that it's up, but there's a little bit of a bug since the season started. It will be needed to be used very soon.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering where he's going to try to drop that gold.
Honestly, at this point, I'd like it mid to try and create some pressure on the Dragon. And you can also just take some points away from the Ahri, as it is a matchup
There it is.
Yeah. Favor rather nicely on the side of Azir if you at least get push and pressure. But this is just going to be
really
down.
have a push.
It will at least take Team Fish Taco off the Dragon themselves. And why I like this Herald being thrown down here, it's not just to get a little bit of gold onto the Azir, but also if you get another Rift Herald, you can set that up to really just take down mid, which is tough to do in this matchup as Ahri brings a lot of wave clear to the table, even if Azir gets shoved. As now Shaden
Oh, he's getting the flash out, though. He will survive. This should be Dragon for Team Fish Taco, though.
I think that's enough to take it down. Shaden still has Hex Flash, as they're going to wait out Ariel. This is playable for the side of EG if they want it. As you can see, Surdy is going to wait TP to this fight.
Okay, it does go over. Now the re-engage from NXI. That's actually so big, and the TP from behind. EG are on a ticking time bomb right now, and they get a big ram to the face. Surdy can't even get in here at all, as the Lamb's Respite does come out, but it is Shaden who gets chased down for a double kill to Onat.
NXI's Rel is so good, man. You gotta start taking this pick away from the side of NXI and Team Fish Taco, as this engage, like, this is a great fight coming out from Team Fish Taco. Lunacia hits TP immediately as the Rel engage connects onto 3. So difficult for EG to play. EG are thinking, hey, Ari doesn't have ult. Maybe if we knock someone away, find her, we can do something. NXI tucked away in vision. Great 3-man engage, connects the stun onto everyone on the back half, as King has to run for the hills, separated from his team. Surdy gets into the fight late, and this scoop from Ryoma just barely keeps NXI on the Lamb's side, so he's able to live. As EG, I mean, they didn't really have the tools to fight there, with Surdy coming in a little bit late. You don't have the shuffle connect on the Lamb's site to push people off, and that engage from NXI was too damn good for EG to deal with from off the bat.
Now we look back at the state of things. You got to see a little bit of that tussle in the picture-in-picture in mid lane as well. And I think looking at it now, King is still that big focus, but without a flash, he's got to play super careful for the next while. And it is Taco who actually are able to capitalize on it. And now with the first item spike coming up for pretty much everybody on the team that matters, I guess NXI, you matter as well, but you are the engaged potential. It is really a moment where Taco can continue to push forward, right? They have the Trinity Force, they have the Ludens and the Kraken Slayer.
And for me, eyes have to be on that Kindred, as that is really the big difference in terms of what we have with these two compositions. Just, you know, the junglers, we have the big backline carries for EG as this game moves forward with Mazel, but a Kindred can be a carry by herself. And
double marks.
Yeah, Trinity Force is in. Black Cleaver is going to be really big too. I assume that's what is going to be the second pickup here for the side of Rosethorn. As Shaden's down 2 levels, hasn't been able to find the plays you need to find as the Poppy.
That's what's crazy, man. 40 CS down in the matchup as well, and that's that level lead you were talking about. And that just means that Taco can play with such confidence, as we do see it going that way. And Rift Herald immediately started up by Team Fish Taco with no response from Evil Geniuses.
Rosethorn making good use of that Kindred, as has the lead, gets up in the face of Shaden, denies that. Spawn picks up the red buff himself. A free objective going over to Team Fish Tacos. This game, after that Dragon fight, has gotten a lot better for their game state. I still think they have to push the pace on these 1 and 2 item spikes. As Zero going late, you don't really want to deal with that, Mazel. It could be a big problem in the later stages, as Azir's ability to DPS and control that Lamb's Respite is big. But I think at the moment, for the first couple items, Team Fish Taco will have that advantage, as we actually see Rosethorn not going for that Black Cleaver. Going to be the Wit's End, coming out second for the Kindred instead. So more defense against that Azir.
Now, something else I do want to re-harken back on is the kind of push for playoffs, right? We have, after this series, 4 series left for both these two teams. And I think when we've seen some of the short-term growth from Evil Geniuses, it's great. But every win, no matter in a best-of-2 format, matters from here on out if you want to make it over that top 8 finish line.
I mean, yeah, it's, I mean, Team Fish Taco, they need wins here to try and close the gap against their competition. As Rosethorn.
I don't think Rosethorn expected to be surrounded by the entire team. I love NXI right now, though. He's like, protect the president. Rosethorn, get down. But he gets down into the grave instead. Spawn is popping away at King, and that's a big moment. Onat's getting the reset, and O Nation rejoice as Team Fish Taco has delivered a bomb to Evil Geniuses. It's a huge advantage given by a play that started with Rosethorn getting caught out, and now they're looking at diving. Evil Geniuses under the tower. Smoothie actually gets a nice little dredge line in, but they're going to try to get it. The crash down from NXI. Surdy trying to go all out, but he goes all dead, and that's everybody falling. Is it about to be an ace for Team Fish Taco? Huge! And 2,000 gold already at 1743.
start of the play is decent for the side of EG as they find Rosethorn, but they burn so much onto Rosethorn, and he buys so much time with the Lamb's Respite. It enables Onat and Spawn to get into the backline. As I started off today praising Spawn for finding more moments to go aggressive, he finds a great one here on the Kaisa as Rosethorn, he walks over Vision, gets spotted out. He's scooped early, but he's able to pop the Lamb's Fight. That scoop being gone means that no one can deal with it. Zerdy takes a lot of damage just trying to get onto him. And look at Spawn able to sneak over the wall. He forces both carries from EG out. It's a lot of damage down and enables Onat to flash into the backline and take both of them down. So the two carries for Team Fish Taco playing off each other really well in this fight. And after this, Ignacius goes back to hit the wave, says, you got the cows, corralled here in the pen. And Team Fish Taco make sure to take them all out.
Biggest thing I need to get good at geography. I didn't know that Reset City was a part of O Nation. And now we see it come forth as another charge comes in from Team Fish Taco's Rift Herald in mid lane. They were not able to get that tier 2, but they'll look back at this dragon now.
This dragon will not be fought by EG. This has to be seeded by Team Fish Taco. I think EG right now. Nasher's done on Azir. Expect the Infinity Edge coming out from Jinx. Third item, LDR for Jinx, I think is when you start to really pick your spots and try and push, but EG have to be on the back foot in defense until then. As Team Fish Taco, I really like how Spawn and Onat played that last fight, Michelle. Just the angle they took to attack EG after, they took down the Fed Kindred, but man, all that time bought, Spawn and Onat cashed in on that to the maximum degree for their squad.
And the fact that you have this duo of very aggressive carries, but also the ability to follow up is the biggest thing for me. And you see it work out so well there. They are just chunking away from a distance, waiting for that perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, and they take full advantage of it. Now you got that second item spike there. The Novori is completed for Spawn, and there's that Shadow Flame or Onat, and you'll see if they can continue to press this advantage forward. They have 2.5k in the lead. They've gotten a lot of objectives their way. Things are going to get a little bit rougher if time goes forward for Evil Geniuses.
Trying to get as much farm into King as possible. I think he's got that Infinity Edge ready to go. Looks to be that Crown coming from Ryoma as well. I know Crown, it's a bit of a controversial item, but I do like it.
I'll give you some controversy. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
All right, I think it's good in games where it's not easily taken off.
But it's easily taken off in this game.
It's really only
We're getting a no from the observers.
It's really only Void Seekers, so, I think it's okay. As it does keep Azir safe and will enable you to be a little bit more aggressive if you do have that crown up. Start off some of these fights as Ryoma. I think he needs to save his Lamb's Fight for the Shurima Shuffle for whenever the Lamb's Fight comes down from the side of Rosethorn. Make sure you have control over that very impactful ultimate. As at the moment, PG fighting to take any control they can over that upside jungle, but I fear it is all in favor of the side of Team Fish Taco. DG gonna have to use those blue trinkets to make sure that this Baron isn't started up. If it is hit by the side of Team Fish Taco, they can melt it very quickly with a Kindred Kaisa.
So we do have that IE finally done, and as well as the crown for Ryoma. We'll see if those second item spikes can have things going. Yeah, it's step-by-step process for Evil Geniuses moving forward, right? We wanted to check in on these two teams after that first day, right? When we know all of this does come down to the wire, and we do see that Taco is just consistently looking for these picks wherever possible.
It's a really scary game for Smoothie and Shaden right now. Like, they have to play up to try and get some vision. You see a blue trinket was wide at Baron. EG get the news that their opponents at least are not hitting the big purple worm, but really nothing else they can get.
Texan Bullworm, excuse me.
Oh, okay. I do like that.
That's a throwback, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
You look at On the Range last year and get to see the Texan Bullworm. Gotta love it.
What happened to the Alaskan Bullworm?
That's in SpongeBob.
I know. Are you just biased towards your state, Michelle?
Yes, I am.
State of origin. What is
welcome.
up with people on this broadcast loving the state they're from? I know I talk about, the city I'm from somewhat. Not usually on air. Chicago rocks, but we had Mark be obsessed with Utah, which as a state definitively just sucks. There's nothing good about it.
I would say, yeah,
Texas is at least kind of cool.
Parts of
likes
Texas.
Minnesota, which also really sucks. So I don't know
I've
what's
been to
up.
Minnesota one time, and I don't know if I have to go back, I'll go.
I appreciate the pride that we have with things that matter to us, but sometimes, you just have to throw in the towel and be like, I'm from Utah, man. I drew the short end of the stick.
Throw in the towel. You hear that, Mark? Maybe throw it in the towel here. We do see, though, EG throwing in the towel of this contest over their red side. And it has just been consistently Team Fish Taco hovering this Baron. They haven't pulled the trigger just yet. A little bit hesitant with this lead.
I think at this point, if I'm Team Fish Taco, I just want to play for that dragon. I'll make sure I get soul point. Also, Infernal Drake, when you have 3 carries, can't really go wrong with that. But I will say, I think Team Fish Taco has to be a little bit careful after that. I would like to see them start the Baron. I feel like this is not the right timer to start Baron on. There's a blue trinket onto Surdy, who is in the bot lane. The only other way to check right now would be an ult from King, and Shaden's actually basing.
There's Smoothie. He gets the control word in. All right, so they'll try to get in, and they realize that EG know what's going on. And the first attempt at pulling the bait does not go there, but they do have Dragon in 30 seconds, so the reset's coming out for majority of Taco.
At the least, Team Fish Taco make sure that EG reset late. They had to respond to that play, or prevent EG from resetting at all. But Fish Taco, just gonna play for that Dragon. I don't think EG can test this. I think they're gonna wait. And honestly, again, this game state right now, this is not that bad for EG. Like this gold lead hasn't grown on the side of Team Fish Taco. Surdy. Oh,
Lunazi just really wanted to get the turret, man.
He might be able to
really wanted. He might get it. There is the bit of return as Rosethorn's right here. And Surdy just goes back in to try to get something. He's trying to save the tower here, but it's not. He can't get Lunacia as the Lamb's respite comes in clutch. The TP isn't enough. Big move from Ryoma. And Surdy is still alive like a monster as Ryoma is now in a 1v2, but he's got Shaden coming up, and the Keeper's verdict saves the day. What a scrappy fight from Surdy.
Surdy just making it happen, man, as he takes what is a 1v3, buys the Lamb's Respite cooldown early off of Team Fish Taco. And Team Fish Taco, that's not a play you want to go for. It's right when the Dragon's up. You need to take this and stay on schedule if you want to wrap this game up against EG. Instead, they end up losing out of the play. They lose out of the Dragon. Gold goes over to some carries. Yes, they answer with mid-inner, but this doesn't help Team Fish Taco accelerate the game state. It just slows things down as EG gets a Dragon for themselves and gets some gold much needed into the pockets of Ryoma.
And this is the win condition for EG. Just buy time until you can get those double guns set up, but you luck here.
The start of it's so funny because Surdy's just trying to yoink him off to not get a demolish proc, but then Kasante does some work, man. And Surdy,
the timing,
on the Ornborn, turns it on the Rosethorn. So he brings Rosethorn to half because Lunacia is out of range. It's a beautiful double Q that forces Lamb's Respite out, and Surdy, he's just able to stay on. So he flashes, buys so much time. Emperor's Divide away is so good. Now Onat's forced to respond. Surdy, he played that so well on the side of EG. Just brute forcing mistakes from Team Fish Taco with his hands. Gets his team, the Dragon, and EG get a much better foothold into this game. As if Ryoma gets that Void Staff, I think it's rather significant this game, Marcel, as the pen is almost there for the big backline carries at EG.
Do you see the reason why we were so hype at Surdy coming in? He is mechanically just better. And you get to see moments where he shines like this, and it gives you so much promise for this renewed Evil Geniuses Challengers roster. They do got to circle back in. They are still at a deficit. Yes, they're scaling. They're getting to the point, the promised land. But it is Team Fish Taco who have them in their sights. And NXI with a big magnet storm. They're being pulled in. Can they break the magnetic coils as Onat's starting to get resets here? It's a big engage from Lunacia, but they have picked apart the fight, and the double carries are gone already from Team Fish Taco. Lunacia is going to get dragged down here, but Rosethorn there to pump in some damage too. Surdy wants it. Surdy wants to get that Q3. Can he get the knockback? Lunacia doesn't get the knock up. And there's the Lamb's Respite. Shaden trying to push him out here at the last second. Rosethorn goes down. No, he gets the mark in Ed. And Lunacia was the sacrificial ram, but it is Rosethorn who makes it out.
Sacrificial ram.
You like that?
All right, well done, Marcel. I mean, big part about that fight. Spawn ends up falling to the side of Shaden. He found the wall bang onto the Kai'Sa. Immediately take a second look. Again, this is a great engage from NXI. He finds 3. Team Fish Taco have numbers, but keep your eyes on to Spawn. Because when Spawn decides to go in, Shaden takes him out of the fight immediately. Gets rooted by the Chomper. Shaden connects with a wallbang to follow up. Spawn goes down. It was a great angle on the TP from Surdy. So Onat falls immediately. And EG then, they get their front to back, exactly what they want with a Poppy, Azir, Jinx combo. Team Fish Taco, Spawn and Onat going down first, as you called out, Mazel, that ended up breaking the backs of them. They really have no damage to fall through.
Ever since that bot lane play, I can't stop focusing on Surdy, and the amount of times this guy is perfectly timing his unstoppable in the middle of everything is just insane to me. Like, I'm freaking out over here behind the screen, and it is an incredible comeback, at least in attempt for Evil Geniuses. But Taco, again, you always have to harken back. They have so much power, and especially through Onat, who's very, very close to his Rabadons. You did get that Void Staff for Ryoma. You did get that Lord Doms for King. So guns are ablazing for both sides. See if Onat can get that pick. He can't.
I mean, EG's favored at this point. You have level 16 on Ryoma and a Void Staff. This backline's huge. NXI has to find a big engage here, has access to Hex Splash.
They do get the Warnhorn here. NXI is looking over the wall. That's 4 man, but NXI isn't in position for a big Mega Storm. You do have Lunacy and Spawn going on the other side. They get 1. That's huge. Spawn is untouched. Spawn is firing away right now. We wanted that killer instinct to come through, and it does. 3 for 1 in favor of Team Fish Taco, and now Ryoma will have to use that shifting stance out, but the save of the day goes to Team Fish Taco.
They get the front line, but they don't have anyone up to really pressure, as Ryoma still has that ultimate, so they can't start the Baron, and instead, it's got to be a reset for the Dragons. Okay, hold on. Onat's hanging around.
He gets spotted out, though.
He's cleaning up as much farm as he can, but looks like Ryoma... Oh, don't fall for this one, Ryoma. Okay, he's going to scout out. He doesn't know that this is being... He knows it's being started now. He knows it's being started now, because Onat just W'd in.
There's no way. There's nothing they can do. It is just gone.
Wow. All right, EG not taking the fight. 4 members there. For the side of Team Fish Taco.
3 level 16s on that Baron, by the way.
Yeah, that's big.
Oh, we do get that Black Cleaver also completed for Rosethorn, as the Turo Baron buff might make the difference here. No, I think Onat might be in trouble, and O-Nation gets burned to the ground by Ryoma.
Fine from Ryoma. He's able to base and TP back to the fight. Uses his ultimate to get the ult-less Ahri down, as Ryoma will stick around for this turret first, and insta-TPs in.
Fight.
5v4 now for EG. They can get Soul Point. I will say the Baron push is going to get quite a bit of gold in Team Fish Taco's pockets. I think some of that was much needed, as Onat very close to that death cap, and Spawn got that Hurricane and really did some work in that last fight. There's a reason that front line melted, and that reason it was Spawn, as he was shredding on this Kai'Sa. So very close game we have here, Mazel. First game of the day.
I just think it's so cool. We get a very strong double marksman composition that does have a lot of scaling implications. With Onat having so much gold, he now has those Rabadons as well, that 3rd item spike. So you have some late game. You have the scaling from the Ornn as well, adding to it. But then you look at the other side, you see Ryoma and King, and you're like, we are going to get some fireworks to finish this one out. You are not going to walk away from this one without a bloody lip.
It's a level 18 Azir with 4 items, you know? It's, this thing pumps out some damage, and it can fight the scaling that Team Fish Taco are bringing, but at the moment, Ryoma is going to have to head for the hills. That's actually very risky for Ryoma. I think Team Fish Taco, well, if they were fast there, they might have been able to dive onto Ryoma, at least get a flash or an ult off, as Ryoma is at half health. That's going to send him back to base, and this turret for sure going to fall, as EGC is going to seed this. They just want to make sure that they can't get too much on this side of Team Fish Taco, as they will hold their defense at one of the inhibitor turrets. Team Fish Taco continues to remove standing gold from the map, and all eyes on Ryoma, as that Lamb's Respite is going to be massive to make sure that things can go the way of EGC, as he needs to use the Shurima Shuffle or the Emperor's Divide to remove the power of Lamb's Respite from Team Fish Taco if EG wants to win.
I like this siege coming down, though. A nice use of the rest of this Turo Baron buff. You still got 40 seconds on it. And while the siege maybe not that strong here from Taco, they can still continue to pressure, as they have a pushing wave in bottom lane trying to take a tier 2 by itself. Ooh, they want the smoke. Try to go for it, trying to get the tower. There's the Keeper's Bird out. couple of those minions, the most important ones, get pulled out of the turret, but the cannon guns it down. The inhib tower is gone.
Team Fish Taco could reset and try and push bot to take the last inner, but that's going to be all she wrote for the Turo Baron buff. As Team Fish Taco pick up about 2k gold from that Baron being snagged for themselves. But all eyes now. Look at those timers in the top left and top right, Mazel. We got both monster objectives spawning pretty close at the same time. You got to figure, given that it is Soul Point and Soul on the table here in 2.5 minutes for EGC, that big focus will be on that Infernal Dragon and denying that soul from EG.
Honestly, I feel like that's the bigger fight now as well. You give an Infernal to either side here, and it is a game changer. While we've seen Baron go down multiple times now, I think the fact of the matter is you get that lasting buff, and especially if it's Evil Geniuses, that comeback could just be nigh, even with a strong lead by Taco, because from the get-go, we've been setting up this late game that we are arriving to, Cubby.
Yeah, these items inventory is getting pretty thick here on the side of each of our squads. We have a Bloodthirster now available for King.
How thick are they?
Pretty thick. We've seen King get chunked at the start of fights. That BT will make sure that that is no longer going to be an issue for the side of the Jinx. And then Rosethorn, I must say, if he gets to that LDR, this Kindred will pump in these later fights. I would love to see Spawn actually sacrifice some of these waves and CS to get Rosethorn accelerated into that item. I think that's a big difference going up against the Cassante Poppy frontline for this Kindred. But
I do like the GA though for Spawn, so he can play pretty aggressively with the killer instinct there, and that's something we've wanted to see from this player for so long, and I feel like we have been getting that here recently. And he's gonna have to turn it on here. Him and Onat and Rosethorn are the 3 pillars right now of Team Fish Taco.
Like what EG's doing here, just hovering the Azir, because they feel like Azir is strong enough. If Team Fish Taco commit any play onto Azir, they have someone there to answer. They can actually win that play. I feel like that's a good read from EG, as Realm is going to make sure that top wave gets shoved in deep. He's going to reset, and now everyone's going to be setting up that contestation for the Dragon, which at the moment, very Team Fish Taco favored. They're on the map first and have great vision around this bot side. I want to see if NXI can continue to find good angles, Mazel. We came in hyping up both supports, especially the improvement from NXI. He has 100% KP, and these engages from Rel have been so damn sound for the side of Team Fish Taco. I think if he gets a good fight started,
I will say there is some discrepancies right now. I am hardly very surprised that Ryoma has a 100 CS lead over Onat now. He also has like a full item and a half advantage over this, and they don't have time to scale any longer for Onat. So right now, Spawn and Rosethorn are the ones you're looking at. I think Onat's going to have to find a way to get some resets in here, but you see as Dragon is spawning now, both teams, the pressure is on.
Mid waves are dead. EG feels like they can't really walk in here. As they're just going to give this away. They can't afford to do this, as more important for Team Fish Taco to deny this soul against EG. And by committing to that early, they can at least maybe get a Baron set up here, as Team Fish Taco will be rotating quickly. EG can get some poke down.
And they get a presence here as Lunacia wants to go for it. Does get denied, and the Keeper's Verdict used. This is a 4v5, but EG are in a bit of trouble here. Smoothie will have to flash. That is a trade here, going back and forth of ultimate.
He's going to have to reset as his health bar is a little bit low. I don't think Team Fish Taco starts the Baron off of this, but game continues to be rather tense here, Mazel, as some ults used. A good yoink by Smoothie to make sure that Ornhorn couldn't be followed through upon by Lunacia. Does protect PG as Rosethorn fights it away at 7 HP. That's actually a pretty big deal, as that denies 2 red buffs on the side of EG.
And those 2 red buff denials, it's a little something, something to write home about. But something I love that we're getting to the point of is that this gold lead that Team Fish Taco have had for a lot of this game, Cubby,
it doesn't really matter now.
Not mattering at this point. It is literally about mechanical execution, and I couldn't think of a better time for that to come out than in this series, where both teams are right on that cusp. Every win matters, even in best of twos, and it is all on the line.
This is a big game, as every win, especially for Team Fish Taco, who are a bit lower in the standings, can help them buy some space between being in playoffs or being in that promotion relegation tournament again, as they do not want to find themselves there. Good poke from Ryoma. You can see that connecting on the spawn. EG feels very confident stepping forward. Crown has been kept safe, but okay, taken off.
Nice little double engage there. This actually might be a big pick. Monat trying to get something in going, but the Sun Disc comes up in a moment of defense from Evil Geniuses, but they keep having these scary, anxious-filled moments, Cubby.
You can just see what Azir gets done. As if there isn't an Ahri ult or an Ornn ult that connects cleanly onto Ryoma, he can interact with pretty much everyone on the side of Team Fish Taco with his Sand Soldiers, and those are doing a lot of damage. But Shaden was brought low by that engage. Might be enough for Team Fish Taco to at least pull this Baron and see what happens to Shaden. You have to be very careful here.
Yeah, a little bit of that Keeper's Verdict already utilized. 3,000 health on the Baron. Shaden is in the pit. The TP's coming back. They actually get it for Evil Geniuses, but the fight, you got to be careful. Spawn is waiting for the Killer Instinct. He's waiting to go in. You've got to see King, though. King has stepped up, and he has arrived. And Evil Geniuses, they end up getting everything here. No way, no way. Oh, they're going for it. Look at Spawn. Spawn is the only thing that can save Taco now. He is the only man standing, and he gets the shutdown on Ryoma. Let's see the Prey Seeker. Oh, the shield didn't come off fast enough. He can't follow up, but Spawn, the man, the myth, the legend, he gets the moment. And even if the Turo Baron buff went to Evil Geniuses, this man is on fire.
What a fight coming out from both sides here, Mazel, as I think Ryoma played this fight really well. We're going to take another look. Lunacia taken out early, but the ult from Ryoma ends up buying space. As you can see, Surdy just goes in zoning. He was never able to get an ult off, so he goes down a little bit too early. It ends up being a rather difficult for Lunacia to be back in, but this ult buys space, and the flash away from the knockup for Lunacia saves Ryoma, is able to continue to DPS. And a great dredge line from Smoothie. At least finds the tank, and then things get a little bit crazy. King, a little bit too far up against Rosethorn, who did sneak into that brush, ends up taking out the Jinx. Ryoma then cleans up afterwards, going in with Smoothie. Honestly plays this really well. Spawn just able to win the DPS war. And I like how Spawn angled himself to not even be able to eat a dredge line from Smoothie, as that shield lasts barely long enough to keep Smoothie and that single Turo Baron buff alive for the side of EG. Because I gotta say, that could be useful for Smoothie and EG, as he can use that to actually get mid priority for this dragon, as it is a double soul point available for each of our teams here.
We are building to a monumental moment here, but one catch out, one fell swoop means the end of the game for Evil Geniuses. We built up the tension that each game matters, but in this moment, the next fight is the one that matters. You have to keep one foot in front of you. And Taco right now, they might be 2 steps ahead of Evil Geniuses. Good
Sun Disc coming out from EG, as that prevented Taco from finding a pincer angle around EG, as they're just going to use their Baron buff to get mid-pry out.
Okay, nice little engage there with the triple knockup, but you do have to watch out on the back end, because King is still strong, and look how much Ryoma's doing. Nice double knockup as Surdy! He actually might make the difference here, as King will back off. This is Dragon, and that's a soul, but Surdy, he gets caught. He does have the unstoppable. Spawn's going in with the killer instant, but he can't get it, and Evil Geniuses should be able to just turn back onto this Dragon puff.
The Stone Plate saves him, and a great stuff on the engage from NXI, who has been so good this game on the Rel, but it was denied that time around. Soul goes over to EG as Team Fish Taco barrels down the mid lane, trying to find something. There's only one fast back available on the Smoothie. They should get this. Do they get anything more? Surdy's TPing.
Be careful on the back end, though. Surdy is looking for the long con here. Maybe he looks for the cutoff angle as well. He sees Onat
back up.
They're going to try to chase this one down, potentially. They do get the blue trinket out. Surdy's got the Q3 ready to go. He just wants to set up. He gets the flash. He actually connects on the Rosethorn, pushes it back, and then the dredge line. The combos from Surdy to set the rest of the team up. Rosethorn is down, and this man is giga smurfing over this game.
Surdy has been such a big difference maker on the Cassante, winning his matchup and winning the fights he's been a part of, as he went down first, not able to get his ult off at the Baron fight, but this time around makes a big TP play to take away the very fed jungler of Team Fish Taco and make this push with Infernal Soul of 5v4. Now, Surdy had to base. He is answering the bot wave. It's a 4v4 at the moment. Do EG stick around after this inhibitor? Looks to be no.
We're going to get another fight between these two teams, and it is full builds coming online for all the carries here. I do, like, my goodness, the decisiveness that EG has shown in this late game has been incredible, but specifically Surdy really just saying, team, let's go.
And a lot of good moments, honestly, coming out of EG. I love how they were still able to stuff that engage from NXI. And I think Ryoma's been playing much, much better. It was just yesterday on the Jace, but now this Azir game, too. I think Ryoma's been really clutch at making sure that he's healing for King, buying some space for the Jinx, and also burning his spells in a way where he's still able to DPS at a safe range. Something that Azir can do in this composition is it's really, I think, all about Team Fish Taco's point of attack at this point of the game. Is the fights we've seen them win are when NXI and Onat are able to get something done early in the fight. If it goes too long, the DPS from Jinx is here. That will reign supreme.
I will just say, Ryoma just sold the crown, got Leandries that rebought the crown for the reset of the gold, I guess. And especially now, looking at how you redeploy on the map, I feel like Taco are struggling for answers, right? We've seen a couple moments where the engages go a little wide. The 5-on-5 right now, if you can't pick it apart, you can't get a big engage for Taco, it's not going to go your way.
All about if NXI is able to find the angle. So I really like when EG are just stacking as 5. Because Poppy gives you so much protection at this stage of the game with that steadfast presence. Just denying angles from NXI and Onat, for that matter, as point of attack for Team Fish Taco. I think where they can really find wins, given the 2 drafts that we have in front of us, Mazel, at this point of the game. But this game is very EG favored, not just because of Soul, not just because of the champions they have in the inventory, but also full control over this Baron to try and wrap things up. As Texas Bullworm re-enter the map, Mazel. It's back.
It's back. Who's going to get the Turo Baron buff this time? As we see Taco out here just really trying to get these final items completed for Onat specifically. But things are going to be coming up here. You've got to fight this because Evil Geniuses are ready to go. NXI gets spotted out by the blue trinket. That's actually big, and Ryoma wants to go punish him.
Yeah, NXI is already running for the hill. Shaden's going to go chase. I think EG just commit everything to try and find NXI. Oh, actually didn't go over the wall for that.
Oh, TP. Oh, TP. That's Onat. Onat can make the difference. No. Is O-Nation going to do it? He finds King. Oh, he picks him off! And the nice engage here. Look at Spawn. Spawn has killer instinct. He needs to go join Onat. But Onat's just buying so much time while King gets taken out too. Ryoma and King are gone. There's no guns. This dog has no teeth. And Taco have ripped it out of their mouth. As Spawn is chasing him down, he's gonna look for a quadra kill, and Team Fish Taco, they show up when it matters most, and they take game number 1 here.
Every win counts late in the season. Every moment counts as Ryoma goes way too far ahead, trying to fish for the support of Team Fish Taco, and that was the only gap Team Fish Taco needed to find this game 1 win.
The longest game of the split so far, and it's another Taco banger, as they had the previous one at 45-32, and now they go the distance against Evil Geniuses. Who needs the soul, Cubby?
I mean, they got the soul in them, man. That's all that matters. They kept with the heart of the team, heart of the cards, able to pull it out.
That's all that matters in the end, and what a game to kick off our Sunday. Oh my goodness. Hope we can keep up the pace with all of our bangers remaining. We're going to step away for a little break. On the other side, we have our Rally Cry halftime show, so don't miss it.